Subscribers and your host Ram, welcoming you to another edition of Cricket Happenings today on 14th of January 2011. Today what we are going to cover is we are going to talk about Australia leveling the 2020 series 1-1 by actually winning the match by 4 runs. But again, it was a very close match, which after when Chris Woakes actually slammed a six of Brett Lee over long on in the last over with 14 required. Suddenly there was pressure, but Brett Lee bowled superbly the next two balls to give them only 2 runs and secure a 4-run victory for Australia. And then also we'll be previewing the South Africa versus India, the second test, which is going to be starting tomorrow. And also New Zealand versus Pakistan, which will be the second test at the Basin Reserve in Wellington, which is always a bowler's paradise. So first we are going to talk about the match between Australia and England. Well, as far as Australia and England were concerned, as I said, this was the second 2020 international. England last time won through Chris Woakes' brilliant effort there. Today this was played at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Australia were the ones who actually won the toss and chose to bat, and Australia in their 20 overs made 147 for 7 with the man of the match was Aaron Finch. Now Aaron Finch was playing his second match, and the way he played was superb. He was muscling the ball very well. Basically, he's a very short boy, but he has lots of raw power, and that's what was actually enabling him to hit those 4 fours and 2 sixes that he hit. He actually slapped Ajmal Shahzad for a 6 and also hit 4 boundaries to go with it. He was not out on 53 of 33 balls with 4 fours and 2 sixes, and he was the highest scorer today. And that's what enabled Australia to reach a score of 147 for 7 in their 20 overs. The openers did a good job. They took on the score to 37. But what was interesting was David Warner has sort of become a person who is playing a second fiddle there, and Shane Watson was the man who was crashing the boundaries and sixes. In fact, he didn't hit any boundaries today. He hit only 2 sixes, and he made 17 when he was caught by Morgan of the bowling of Woakes for 17. So that was the first wicket to go. And then Tim Paine contributed a very quick 21 of just 12 balls with 2 fours and 1 6. Besides that, Hussey was out for 8, and Cameron White was out for a duck. Cameron White got a good ball from Graham Swan, as this pitch was a slow turner. In fact, Graham Swan turned the ball to a sharp turn, and Cameron White was trapped in front, and he was LBW for a duck. And then finally Stephen Smith actually gave some support to Aaron Finch in contributing 13 of 18 balls, falling a victim to Shahzad, and Steve O'Keefe was bowled by Bresnan for 13. And finally, as I said, David Warner contributed 30. He was out to Michael Yardy, and 147 for 7 was those Australia got on the board. Chris Woakes was not. In fact, the English bowlers were very good first. Actually, Chris Woakes and Ajmal Shahzad were really bowling to a very good line and length, and not allowing any liberties to the over. Even though they were playing, there was some good fielding by the Englishmen, and they were bowling to the field. But after that, suddenly David Warner and Shane Watson was the one who took the initiative there. And Chris Woakes 3 overs no maiden 1 for 29. Ajmal Shahzad 3 overs no maiden 1 for 34. Tim Bresnan 4 overs no maiden 1 for 27. The reason Australia was restricted to 147 was because Graham Swan bowled 4 overs no maiden, 19 runs and 2 wickets. This spin combination, as I said, is a real key for England, actually, as Michael Yardy bowled superbly, 4 overs no maiden, 2 for 19. So they were the ones who took 4 wickets among them, and Kevin Peterson bowled 2 overs for 17 runs. As far as England were concerned, they had a very good start. In fact, Ian Bell actually cut and drove Sean Tate for boundaries, and Ian Bell is a very, as I said, he's a different player altogether, because he started playing his strokes. He was advancing down the track to Sean Tate. You can just imagine that, Ian Bell doing it. One can't even imagine that, but Ian Bell is a changed player. He has adapted himself admirably to the 2020 version, and Steve Davis was actually just rotating the strike, taking the singles, but Ian Bell was the one who was scoring of everybody. He was hitting Sean Tate, he was hitting Brett Lee, he had 3 fours, and then finally some control was there when Ian Bell was stopped in the tracks by Sean Tate and Brett Lee and Johnson. In fact, Watson came in and he also bowled well, and the first wicket to go was Ian Bell when Johnson did a double strike there. First he clean bowled Ian Bell for 39 of 30 balls with 3 fours. That was the first wicket to go. Kevin Peterson was just 1, and the same over Johnson actually had him. Peterson drove at a wide ball from Johnson, and White took the catch in the covers and he was gone for one. So that is the first, second wicket to go. So 62 for 2. Paul Collingwood again failed, caught Warner, bowled Watson for 6, 74 for 3 in the 10th over for England. And Steve Davis, after playing a good hand of 29 of 26 balls with 2 fours, was a victim of Watson. For 29, he was caught. Warner bowled Watson. It was a very good catch taken by Warner of the bowling of Watson. 88 for 4, and England were suddenly looking. They were looking a bit shaky there, but Ian Morgan this time couldn't do much. Ian Morgan contributed 14 of 21 balls, and Tate actually had Luke Wright gone 18 of 15 balls with 1-4, and then it was finally left to 3 overs and 29 runs, and Chris Wokes was there and Tim Bresnan was there. But they couldn't really get the ball off the square. They could only get some singles and twos, and finally it all came down to the wire when the last over 14 runs were required with Brett Lee bowling, and Chris Wokes actually slammed Brett Lee over long on for a 6, and suddenly the crowd was totally silenced there, but Chris Wokes and Bresnan could manage only 2 runs in the remaining 2 balls of Brett Lee, and that was it. So Tim Bresnan was not out on 15 of 12 balls, and Chris Wokes was not out on 11 of 6 balls with that 1-6 of Brett Lee and 143 for 6. And the bowling figures: Sean Tate 4 overs no maiden, 1 for 39. This was a 4-run victory for Australia, who actually leveled the series. That would give them a lot of confidence now going into the Commonwealth One Day International Series, which starts on Sunday. Sean Tate 4 overs no maiden, 1 for 39. Brett Lee 4 overs no maiden, none for 29. Shane Watson 4 overs no maiden, 2 for 17, bowled very well. Mitchell Johnson 4 overs no maiden, 3 for 29, was very successful. David Hussey 3 overs, none for 18, and Steve O'Keefe bowled just 1 over for 9 runs. And Aaron Finch was named man of the match for his maiden 50 in One Day International Cricket. What a knock it was from Aaron Finch. It was really important under the circumstances, and as I said, he's a short boy. And one more thing I would like to talk about is about Chris Wokes. And now Chris Wokes, what I've seen is he's a person who is having a lot of pluck. The other day he hit Sean Tate, and today he has hit another fast bowler, Brett Lee, over long on for 6. That shows a lot of nerves. This youngster of 21 years is really promising, and let me tell you, he is holding a promising future for England for sure. Probably his bowling has to come good. Probably that will also should fall in place. Well, so Australia finally getting it across England. So now let's go on to the New Zealand versus Pakistan. New Zealand versus Pakistan would be clashing in the second test at the Basin Reserve in Wellington. This would be the second test match which would be played. And talking about that, Basin Reserve in Wellington is a bowler's paradise, as you know, and the ball, it really helps the swing bowlers. There's a lot of purchase for the bowlers, and let me tell you that Pakistan, already one up in the series, are the ones I'm looking at, that they would be ideally suited for this Basin Reserve type of wicket, even though New Zealand have the edge being on their home ground and they know the conditions well, the wind and everything, but still I think Pakistan would be the ones, because Wahab Riaz was impressive the other day. Tanveer Ahmed is also a very good bowler, because they are all basically swing bowlers. Umar Gul, Tanveer Ahmed, Wahab Riaz. Wahab Riaz with his pace, if he could actually swing the ball, that would be great, because the other day, as you know, he was hitting 145 speed, so that would be very interesting. And as I said, the bowlers are going to hold the key here. The batting, I am not expecting much big high scores. The batsmen would have a real test against the bowlers at the Basin Reserve in Wellington. As you know, Basin Reserve in Wellington is always known to assist the bowlers. And well, so the batsmen, Mohammad Hafiz, Tawfiq Umar, Azhar Ali, Yunus Khan, have to buckle down. They'll have to really show a lot of application, and I think the person to do that would be the Azhar Ali, who is a promising youngster, Yunus Khan with his experience, Misbah-ul Haq. These are the 3 players who would actually be staying there for Pakistan and trying to get them to a good score. Asad Shafiq was promising. Adnan Akmal also played well the other day, and Abdul Rahman, the left-arm spinner, has always been impressive throughout this series. As far as New Zealand is concerned, for New Zealand, well, Tim McIntosh and Tim McIntosh would open the innings with Brendan McCullum. Again, they know the batting is something that New Zealand, as I said, batting is not the key here. The bowling is the one. The batsmen have to come good. They have to play well against the ball, because the ball is going to definitely hold sway for sure. Ross Taylor has to hit some form there. Jesse Ryder, and the bowling, well, as I said, I'm giving this thumbs up to Pakistan, because Pakistan are looking much stronger as far as swing bowling is concerned. And for New Zealand, well, Tim Southee is there, who is a good bowler, much improved bowler, and I'm sure he can do well. Brent Arnold and Chris Martin. Watch out for Chris Martin at Basin Reserve in Wellington, because if he is going to get the ball to swing, that is going to be great, and he could be quite deadly. And Brent Arnold could also do the same. As far as New Zealand is concerned, they have all the hard work to do now. I know confidence is at the real ebb there, but definitely I'm sure Daniel Vettori would rally his boys and get them on to a good one here. Now let's look at the other match which is going to be played, and that is between South Africa and India, and that would be the second one-day international. India lost it very badly in the first one-day international, lost this match by a huge margin, and they would like to definitely set it right here in the second one-day international, which is going to be played between India and South Africa. And for India, I am really surprised that Yusuf Pathan is not there in the equation. The other day also said that, and Yusuf Pathan was not there, and it really made a big deal, and I don't know why Yusuf Pathan is not figuring. He's, according to me, a regular in one-day internationals. Sachin Tendulkar, Murli Vijay, Virat Kohli, Yuvraj Singh. Now, Yuvraj Singh is one person who has to get in form. Let me tell you something. Sachin Tendulkar is on to a world record tomorrow. He will be playing his 433rd innings. So he's going to. Jayasuriya holds the world record. So Sachin Tendulkar, the highest number of innings played in one-day cricket. Sachin Tendulkar is on towards another record tomorrow in this second one-day international. Yuvraj Singh, well, he has to hit some form there, and India has to see that whether they can play well against the short ball, because Suresh Raina, Rohit Sharma, everybody fell to the short ball that day. And then the bowling, well, the bowling has been good, but Ashish Nehra has to really improve there. He didn't do well in the first one-day international. Munaf Patel did well. Zahir Khan probably has to do much better than that, and Harbhajan Singh. So South Africa is concerned, the only question is whether they would play the all-rounder Faf du Plessis tomorrow. But other than that, the openers Graham Smith, Hashim Amla, Colin Ingram has to come good. It is Colin Ingram has not been having a good time there. A.B. de Villiers and Domini have already shown themselves. David Miller is another person who is a fine prospect from South Africa, who likes to hit the ball, and I would like to see him coming good in this match. And then other than that, Dale Steyn and Mon Morkel, as usual, they are always on the money there. And then Lonwabo Sotsowe is very successful. So, and I'm also told there's some weather forecast is some overcast conditions. If that is going to be the case, then probably the toss is going to be very vital, and we are going to have a good game. So, dear cricket fans, I'm sorry that I have to really rattle this off. The reason being that I see there are a lot of abrupt endings, probably YouTube. I don't know whether I'm speaking more than 15 minutes. That is what I've been given, but it always happens. I've been seeing that there's been some abrupt endings. So that's the precise reason I am going a bit fast, and I'm not able to really go step by step here. I do apologize for that, but I wanted to cover all the three things. So England winning against, Australia winning against England, leveling the series, the preview between New Zealand versus Pakistan, second test based in Wellington, and also South Africa versus India, the second one-day international, which is going to be played tomorrow, and this is going to be played at, let me tell you the stadium where exactly it is going to be played. It is going to be played at Johannesburg. That's it, dear cricket fans, subscribers and friends of Cricket Happenings. This is Ram signing off. Thank you.